Hey everyone, welcome back. Today we're going to do something a bit different. So no full landscape, it's just going to be a quick tutorial on how I make nice fluffy clouds. And let's get started. Alright, so let's go ahead and jump in. So I'm going to do like a nice blue tone for our sky. Just classic sky color. That way it's just easier to show the blending so we're not just on the white background. Because most clouds tend to be more on the light white side. So for this one, it's going to be the big fluffy version. If you've seen many of my paintings, I like having the big fluffy clouds in the background of the sky just to give it more life, add a bit more diversity to it so it's not just a gradient background to it. Now, most desert landscapes, you're not going to find a lot of clouds to it, so you might add a few sparse ones or not any at all. It just depends. But we're not talking about that. Anyway, I'm going to take like a mid-tone color and I'm going to do this little cloud off here. Most clouds are, all clouds are very organic. They are very uniform, so keeping that in mind, it's just going in. I use what's it called? The blocking brush just to put down this base color in real quick. And I'm not too worried about the lighting right now, just getting in the basic shape. So when we're going to go in with the shading, I'll just show. You're going to keep in the, there we go, keep it with these humps right here that we have going on. So you're going to have a lot of the light sources bouncing where that dark mark is. It's not going to be uniform of a gradient of light to dark. You're going to have a lot of the light coming here, sort of, and then the dark side's going to be here. Is going to be more of a bunch of circles together, as you'll see. So go ahead and we'll go back to that blocking brush and we're just going to be putting in the basic colors real quick, and we'll add the texture and the blending afterwards. So I'm going to take that lighter white, and like I was saying before, it's just going to be on these little humps. And this is if the lighting is coming from this left side. Of course, if the lighting is different, if it's a lower, like at sunset, the lighting might come from underneath. So that very, but the same premise will come into play when shading. And then we're going to do a little bit of pockets of dark. So come in, add a bit darker blue. So if I switch here, and they're kind of going to be close up to where that light color is, up where the light is, to add a bit of contrast and really show this form of this cloud. And what I like to do is, if it's a really bright and sunny day, go in with the yellow white and add it to only certain parts of this high point of the cloud. I won't put it over here just to keep it curvature and keep one side more bright than the other to show the form of this cloud. And now we're going to go in and add a bit of texture. I tend to jump around which one works best for which area, and just a bit of experimenting here. Well, what we want is to add more organic, add more wisp, make it more faded out. And I do this after I block in the color just to make sure I like where the color and the light are sitting before I take the time to go in and start blending and adding texture. And a great way to work is dark to light because we're going to build on top of it. And to help really sell the form of it, it just works better to build on top like that. So you're going to want to switch between each of the brushes to give a bit more range. And don't be afraid to change the opacity of them to help blend it a bit more. As long as none of these keys up here are selected, and you know it's selected because it'll have like the gray little box, you can just hit on your number pad 1, 2, 3, all that, and it'll change the opacity really quick. If you hit 0, it changes it back to 100. But those keys up there just tie to your pen pressure really quick, so you don't have to mess with the settings in the brush menu. And something I like to do is using this angle one and just taking the sky color and coming in and help breaking up a bit of these edges to kind of give it more irregularity. That's how I do the big fluffy guys. But not all the time you're going to want a big cloud. Sometimes you might want ones that go across the canvas. So one way to do that is if we'll do the same premise, taking the blocking brush. And this one we are going to do, show you. It's going to be more of like our wispy type of guys like this. So as they go across the sky, that was a fun sketch. This is why I don't really sketch out clouds. I just go in with the block in brush and just play around with the look of them. But that's the type of cloud we're going for. But same premise. We'll do the block in brush, come in with a base color. And these ones, it's best if you tie your pen pressure to the scale of the brush. So making it smaller the less you press on it, basically. Because it'll help create that nice curve. Of course, doing very few there also helps as well, making it bigger on one side. And if you have just little tiny clouds coming in, you don't need to add a bunch of lighting to them. I'm actually going to put this on a separate layer. There we go. You're getting too close to the other guy. No. There we go. So for this one, oops. Come back. Thank you. This one, the lighting is going to be the same, except we are going to have it more dark under here. So all of this down here is going to be dark to kind of give the illusion that the cloud is right over us. But the same premise, we're going to have the lighting coming from this side. So we're going to have little humps, same as we did with our big fluffy one, and going forth. But we'll go in with the same blocking and the same premise as I did with the big guy. It's just going to be a different angle. So this one is just going to be, excuse me, a little bit darker underneath to really sell that perspective. And if you're ever unsure about what type of cloud you want to do, clouds become flatter as they get closer to the horizon line, so they become more like this big guy up here. And as they get closer to us in that perspective line, it's going to be more overhead like this guy. And of course, the smaller they are, the less shading and detail tend to be on them. They usually have minimal lighting, so they might just be like like little line of light, but most of the time they are just one color. But that's not always a hard rule. It's just if you're ever unsure about how or what cloud to do, that's it. I like doing these big fluffy ones just because they're more fun. And of course, if your sky is more in sunset or sunrise, like a purplish tone, these colors will shift to that tone to match it. And they might take more on yellows and pinks in that time of day as well. So just keeping that in mind when you are coloring your cloud, because you don't want to put like a blue white cloud in the sunset. Not all the time that will work and sell your piece in terms of time of day. I hope that made sense. And that's how I do the other kind of cloud. Ta-da! But if I'm ever doing just standard clouds off in the distance, it'll just be a mid-tone coming in the solid brush, or the walk-in brush, and just putting in something like this. The bottoms tend to be a bit more straight, at least not as inorganic as the other clouds because they're going to be so far in the distance. So they kind of flatten themselves out that far. And if I need to fix it, I always go in with the angle brush and just clean it up a bit. I try not to use the eraser tool, even if it's a brush on it, just to make sure I am keeping with the cloud brushes. The eraser tool tends to break up that nice texture I'm going for, and I would have to repaint it over anyway. So it just makes more sense to go in with these brushes like that. So it'll be like a little baby cloud like that. And clouds tend not to be too dark unless it's like dark and stormy, and they tend to be more on the gray side. But that's pretty much the basics of making a cloud. So hopefully that was helpful. And if you guys are wanting any more just single how-to videos, let me know. And let me know also what you want to see in terms of landscape paintings. And thank you guys so much for watching. I'll see you guys hopefully soon. Bye.